What's up YouTube, ODST General back again. Today we will be talking about two different games updates, Responding and EmergeNYC. The first thing for Responding is just a video, but there's a lot of cool stuff they show off in it, so I want to talk about that for a little bit, and then we'll move into the EmergeNYC demo updates. So let's start off with Responding here. Now, if you guys have not seen my videos before, if you've not heard me talk about this, going in, just know Responding and EmergeNYC both started off as the same game. They both actually originally were EmergeNYC, and after a split from the developers, the guy who basically started EmergeNYC went one way, and the guys who did Responding kind of went the other. They are based in the same engine, and they are basically looking to make the same goal. They're just taking different paths to get there, and they're going to grow some differences along the way. Now, keep in mind, everything in here is pre-alpha, just like EmergeNYC, so just bear that in mind as we're talking about it. So we've got Visionary Studios. They're the people making Responding. We've got Unity. That's what it's made in. And this video can be found on Visionary. It's their YouTube channel, the channel for the studio. As it says up in the corner, this is pre-alpha. This is their first-person footage for their policing force. They are in probably their Impala or something like that. Here you can see that you can access this computer from first person. They also say you can use it from third. So let's, we'll kind of talk about it as they go along here. He's going to put in a search for a specific individual. I think this is, well, this kind of throws me off because I'm not sure what this is right here. They don't access this at all. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like different individuals or something, or anything like that, because this basically pulls from the wanted folks here. So anyways, he looks for Russell Wilson, pulls him up. He's got one prior incident on file, battery of a police officer. We can see he lives in New York. Now, I'm going to point out some of the bugs in this, and like I said, bear in mind, pre-alpha, all works in progress. It says his date of birth is 1972. His age is 1944. So, either he's 1944, or it's putting in a date of birth and a different one at that for his age. Pulling up battery of a police officer. We've got another bug in here, another, not bug, but another missed issue here. But basically it's got a description of the incident and all that. Presumably when you go to add incident, you'll be able to input this information on your own. But like I said, there was one missed thing here. He's obviously Russell Wilson. Here they respond to him as Touche, struck an officer, so on and so forth. You're also able to add flags and update the information, so you're able to say click out of here, click X, and maybe because of that incident you're going to add a flag. You just added the incident, now you're going to add a flag regarding him, or maybe you're investigating some sort of crime or something, or domestic violence issue, and it says he lives here but he actually has moved. You would go in and update his information. You're able to scroll up and down through this list here. Like I said, I don't really know what that list is because it's not labeled. I'm not familiar with like 10 codes or the NYPD's computer system. Speaking of 10 codes, as you can see, there's 10 codes. These are references to the incidents and stuff that you can respond to. This says jobs, so basically you can go in here and look through and see what sort of things are happening. So like this is a robbery right here. And as you can see, you've got all your 10 codes here. The devs have said that they are basically seeking to have not only the 10 codes for immersiveness, but some sort of more casual system for the regular player, so that you can basically just hop in and enjoy it if you don't know your 10 codes. But if you want to go out and learn 10 codes, or if you just happen to know them, then it makes it all the better. But you're able to change your well, not only your status, but I suppose any status on a incident by clicking assign self, you're en route, you're on scene, so on and so forth, and various 10 codes regarding the incident. Once he clicks out here, I'll point out another bug. So this wanted flyer right here. The above pictured individual is wanted for robbing multiple banks in Liberty City and Los Santos, escaping with millions of dollars. Once again, I'll read this. Liberty City and Los Santos. I don't know if that was supposed to be a joke or an Easter egg or something. This does feel very much like the policing system that's in GTA 4. Just a little bit more advanced. Obviously, that is based off the NYPD's real life system, so there is that. Another bug. This is date 2016. Description on 4/5/2015. So I think that's another issue with it. So there's a lot of bugs and stuff, but it's a very cool system nonetheless. As much as I'm kind of pointing out all the flaws in the system, I really do enjoy the work they've done so far. It's looking pretty good in the pre-alpha state. So that pretty much finishes what we have for responding. As you can see, you can look away and drive and still keep your information pulled up. He's got a bunch of stuff appearing on the screen while he's looking around. Hopefully that's something that will get fixed, because I suspect that's from him actually like moving his head around or trying to drive or something. But that brings us into our next one, which is the EmergeNYC interactive demo update. So really quick, I'm just going to cancel that, and we're going to pull this up. So as you can see, there's been a pretty big update here. This is version 0.3 of the interactive demo. Version 0.3 brings a new launcher, which will actually automatically update, which means that you will no longer need to download the demo with each new update. Now, it hasn't really been a big issue so far because this is only the 3rd release, but I imagine that once we start getting into 4th and 5th release and you're downloading a new demo every week or two, it's going to probably get kind of tedious. So that's much appreciated. There's been a graphical update. And, at first I kind of had a hard time placing my finger on it. I was like, something looks different. It looks better, but maybe it's just my imagination. It very much was not just my imagination, though. We've had a police fleet added, and a lot of the sirens and stuff have been changed. So we also got ambient noise that you have during the demo. Now, for the sake of this video and just my audio, I'm going to keep that turned off. But definitely a nice little thing to put you in the mood for New York, So we'll go down, we'll start left to right. You've got your controls now for all the cop cars and actually emergency vehicles in general. You start off with department, you've got NYPD and FDNY. I also believe we will be getting an EMS companion to go along with this at some point in time. You've got your vehicle now with the NYPD, it's just goes off engine numbers, ladder, etc., etc. In the case of PD, because of copywriting and stuff like that, they can't use the actual car name. So even though this is obviously Crown Vic, they've got a fictional name for it. This one's the Fortis Tiara Victor, and that stands true of all the other cars. So they're all based off of real vehicles, but elements of them have been removed. Obviously, this doesn't have the Ford logo and stuff like that. So small variations to just make it legally acceptable. You can change the color of vehicles now. The Crown Vic is probably the most robust of coloring, and when it says coloring, it actually means liveries, not necessarily coloring. So you've got your standard 14th precinct, you've got your supervisor, highway patrol, emergency service units, K9 units, critical response command, and you've got your unmarked. And one of the cool things is that as a marked unit, you've got your unit number on the license plate, but then when you switch to unmarked, it uses civilian plates to kind of keep that element of low keyness, or whatever you want to call it. So we're just going to switch back to marked unit. You can change your spotlights. So right now we just added spotlight to it. You can change your light bar. or you can have slick top even. We're going to use the message board for right now, though. Can add or remove push bars on certain vehicles, and the options will change from vehicle to vehicle. And, you know, you can change frontal lighting. So right now we've got full frontal lighting, but we can change that just to the dash, or we could change it to the mirror lighting, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what you'd call that up on the top by the mirror. Or you could have none even. You can customize your unit numbers. So right now we are elite, but you can use anything as long as it's 4 digits. So, you know, 2440. You know, and you can't type in any sort of name or lettering, unfortunately, so there is no way of bypassing it like that. And then we've got our message board. Now, with responding, one of the cool things they've done is it allows you to type in a custom message, which is really neat, because if you want to just kind of say screw around and just maybe you're playing some multiplayer and you're screwing with your friends, you could type in a message that's making fun of them or something. Or, you know, you could be really immersive and, you know, actually type in messages that are more relevant to your exact incident that you're responding to or something. Now, with that being said, we do have preset messages on here, so it's not quite necessarily as robust, but it's maybe a little bit more immersive. They have said they will be adding more messages to the message board. So currently we have 3: police emergency, and, you know, it keeps going. Incident ahead, or incident ahead, accident ahead, and slow down. So that's that kind of shows off that message board. So really quick, we're just gonna change our light bar back over to the SLR with the directional lighting, and we're gonna show off the smart panel. Now, the smart panel's got a few different things going for it. It's siren controls, it's lighting controls, and it's directional controls. Now, you can still control your sirens and stuff. Well, now it's not going to work, is it? You can still control lighting and some sirens through the manual system. So, like right now, obviously, I'm not hitting this button up here or anything. You can see my mouse. But I'm still controlling lighting. Now, with that being said, I can also go here. Lighting has different stages. So, you've got first stage lighting, second, and third. And it's going to be different from different vehicles. Like the Crown Vic here doesn't seem to change all that much, but different vehicles will have different tiers of lighting available to them. So we've got different things here. We've got whale, yelp, priority. You got your manual thing. You got your horn. You got rumbler. Alright, so moving on, we've got a number of other vehicles too. And, you know, the different cars will have different sirens. I'm not going to go over each and every one. But we will go through the coloring real quick just to show that off. So the, you know, Impala variant, you know, and these have no equipment in them. I also found the Impala variants when I switched over, that didn't want to go down before. Now it's working. But there's no equipment placed in because of the deadline they had to meet for getting this update out. And that's something I really appreciate from both Responding and EmergeNYC, is a lot of developers, especially mod developers, are really prone to wanting to release something only once it's perfect or it's met its full completion. And, you know, it's becoming a lost art in game development to be able to release something playable, but also, you know, within a reasonable time. A lot of developers nowadays, big developers and modders, will either say, we're not going to release it until it's perfect, or we're going to release it really early and it's not going to be playable at all. Nobody can meet that happy medium anymore, it feels like. So to actually see somebody kind of do that, you know, where it's like, hey, this is playable, the models look good, you know, yes, there's a few bugs here and there, you know, it's still nice. And obviously this isn't meant to be gameplay yet. There's still going to be bugs. You can see right here there's a gap in the charger here in the model, where you can see where the weather stripping is supposed to be, I presume. Oh, actually I meant to go. So you got different variations of this too. Light bar is going to be different for each vehicle. One thing here too is that, you know, you've got your highway patrol units. You've got a high-rise light bar. Now this right now doesn't actually rise up, but it will rise up in later variations. Presumably here in this next update from what they've been saying. So expect this to be able to go up and down in the next update in 0.04 or 0.4, I should say. We've also got some SUVs. You know, we've got another Interceptor, and then we've got some SUVs. Once again, it's got its directionals going for it. This one's got a message board actually inside of it. But, yeah, so this one actually has a message board on all variations, which is pretty nice. Oh, you know, it just occurred to me when I skipped over that last one so fast I didn't check any of the other coloring. So this one's got undercover as well as a couple different variants. There we go. Now I can go back. Even the SUVs come with undercover variants. Nice stuff. And there we go. Get rid of that. Get rid of our spotlight if you wanted to. Additional lighting. Now all these are work in progress, so some of these actually won't have any additional lighting even though they're supposed to. I don't know why those sirens keep turning on, darn them. Alright, so that is all for NYPD Fleet. But we are not done. So the last bit of this update is that the FDNY has had a small update. Obviously, visually, the graphics have been improved. It might be hard to tell in this video. I'm not sure. Playing in-game, I can definitely tell a difference, though. And actually, before I get going around here too much, we're going to go ahead. Now, directionals and stuff, I don't think any of these have smart panels involved except for the battalion. But they should all have working sirens and stuff. Now, the sirens have been massively changed. And there's a couple different sirens between some of the engines. Now, as you can see, that's a lot better. You don't have a lot of the background noise. But they still sound accurate. In fact, they probably sound more accurate. And the cool thing is this, if you hold on the horn, it actually just cuts out itself. So here's one of the other ones. So this one winds up but dies down a lot faster. Alright, so now we can kind of show off this one. Lighting controls are also available through here. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to actually direct or control the directionals on the battalion here, at least not yet. Now, I know that some of this stuff should be added in later. I don't know if we will see the smart panel added to the engines, but I would imagine we will. see that in. And I'm sure the devs, since they do watch these videos and they actually do have responded to both the videos I've done so far, will more than likely respond to any questions you guys if you have here. If you have any feedback, post it in the video, or go and contact the devs if you guys have any questions, comments. You know, I'm sure that they love feedback. Well, love might be a strong word, but I'm sure they'd appreciate any feedback and attention that you guys gave the mod, and that stands for both Responding and EmergeNYC. Both of them are shaping up to be really awesome. I really enjoyed the new updates for EmergeNYC specifically because at least I get to play that one currently. But both are looking really good, and I definitely look forward to future updates from the devs. And if you guys have any questions, you can also try to direct them to me. I will answer the best I can, but unlike Operation Trebuchet, I really don't know as much as what they are planning for this. Anyways, I will see you guys around soon in the next video, maybe even. Alright guys, take it easy.